Hello, my fellow pod pilots of New Eden. EddieRio here, still fighting the good fight for the Minmatar Republic within faction warfare, and still flying a stabber and stabber fleet issue like I am here. I like to active armor tank my stabber fleet issue. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's the sort of fit that I've ended up with. And of course I can take a yellow pill if I need to as well to help give me those extra reps. I will stick the all my fits from now on in the description using a website called EvE Workbench, and that's really cool, so I'm going to start putting all my fits there, save me sort of yapping about it too much in the video. And we're starting off here fighting an Exequror Navy issue, and this was such a good fight. Look at this, I am in hull already and fighting for my life here, trying to get the reps off as much as possible. They're fully overheated. I'm trying to keep my orbit around sort of 2 or 3 kilometers to him to apply some damage to him, but he is really applying damage to me. It's one of those fights where you just think this is not going to plan. All you can do is just try and hang in there and just keep trying to apply that DPS and just hope he's not going to punch through your tank. But it swings around a little bit and I managed to sort of get my reps overheated and fully up and start to control it a little bit more. I start to realise that he's buffer tank perhaps with 1 rep, and I am starting to break him, so as long as I can keep myself alive I can certainly turn this around. It was definitely the case that in the first few seconds of that fight, if I'd have misclicked something or been slightly more delayed on getting my armour and weapons on, or not had the yellow pill before I went into the fight, I certainly would have lost this fight incredibly quickly with the amount of DPS that he was putting out. Some of you will be pleased to see that I've turned auto reload repeat off on my ancillary rep, which is something that quite a few of you picked up on in my previous videos, which I think has definitely helped with this fight. I definitely think that this is a good fit for the stabber fleet issue, but if you have other fits that you want to link me up and stuff, that would be really useful, because I'm definitely up for experimenting and trying some other things. My armour repairers are on fire at the moment, and I managed to burn one of them out completely, which is not good, but that is just as the fight is coming to an end and I managed to get the final blow on him. That was a great fight and I really enjoyed that. Next up, I'm still in the stabber fleet issue and we have an Augoror Navy issue. I've always said Augur, but looking at it there, it's Augoror. I don't know whether I'm saying that right. Augoror? How do you say that? Silly Amar and their ship names. This is a sort of a 2-part story, and I'll explain that when we look at the next fight. But this Augoror is buffer fit, so all I've got to do is keep applying the DPS and managing to tank his output, which isn't too difficult. You will think, oh, I've got too tight an orbit here to apply DPS, I perhaps want to be out to sort of 2-3 kilometers, 3-4 kilometers, a bit more to apply DPS, but by keeping a tighter orbit on him, he's applying less damage to me and I'm having to work less on keeping my tank going, and because he's buffer fit, it's not like I've got to punch through his active tank. I can just let the drones do the work and get the hits off as I can with my guns and apply DPS that way and not worry about my tank. I've quite often said if it isn't broke, don't change. So, you know, this is working, I'm going to keep the tight orbit, I'm going to do it as I'm doing it, I'm not going to try and drift out to get more DPS because I'm winning at the moment. Oh yeah, I'm an EvE partner at the moment as well, so if you want to use my code EddieRio in the store, I think you get a few % off your purchase and I get a little kickback. That would be a good way of supporting me if you wanted to. I will slow the footage back down to normal now for the kill, and as you notice I didn't really have to work too hard on my tank that time to get the kill, so really nice fight though. Now here's the second part to the story. I think looking at the kill boards, it was over 2 weeks later I came across the same pilot in the same ship, but this time I thought I'd have a go in the stabber. So not the stabber fleet issue, just the stabber. I was pretty sure that he was going to have the same tank and I could apply the same sort of tactics, but this time have a go in a T1 cruiser. This fit is the extra large ancillary shield booster fit that I will put in the description on that EVE Workbench website, and also a cap booster with the 2 small newts. So I think there's a fit that you can do with a web or a shield hardener, but I prefer to use the cap booster or injector or whatever it's called, because when the fights go on for quite a while you start to really have issues with your capacitor, and it helps so much just to be able to use that. And if you come up against frigs and things like that, you can neutralize them with those small newts, and after they're neutralized they're sort of dead in the water, so it negates the need for having a Weber fire sometimes. Now, this is when the fight starts to get a little spicy. I use my last ancillary shield booster capacitor. I have not turned off auto reload, which means I'm now going through the reload cycle of that, which is quite a long time. I start to enter hull, and suddenly this is not looking very good, although he is just starting to enter hull, and at a few % of hull left, my repper reloads and I manage to get a rep off. Again, it's a case of a slight misclick or a second delay in something would have caused me to explode at that point, but luckily I managed to carry on. Look at my ship on fire there. I always think that looks really cool. And then down he goes. Great fight. Really enjoyed both those fights, so fair play there to him. Next up we have an Arbitrator. So this is going to be a very cap heavy fight as he tries to neutralize me, but like I said in the last fight, having that cap booster is giving me the confidence to be able to go up against him. If I didn't have the cap booster, I don't think I would have even taken this fight. He was a little delayed on locking me up and aggressing me, that I always like, because I think maybe I've caught him unawares, or that he didn't actually want to take this fight either. But there you go, you can see he's got neutralizers and tracking disruptors on me as well, so my plan is to keep him pointed with my guns on him and try and defang him with my drones, because I think the most of his DPS is going to come from his drones. So if I can start to take them out, that will negate a bit of DPS as we go along. I decide to turn my neutralizers off as well, because I don't think I'm going to be able to cap him out. He's probably got cap boosters and much more cap stable than I'm going to be, so I decide to turn them off. I'm still really enjoying fighting in faction warfare, but I will admit there are a few things that I feel like I would change to help things along a little bit and help those small engagements happen more often. I'd like to hear your comments about faction warfare, if you're in faction warfare, and things that you would change or mix up a little bit to make those fights happen more often, basically, and you know, have those engagements, because that's what it should be about. I think you get quite a lot of people farming loyalty points, which obviously you need a way to make ISK as a faction warfare player, but it seems that it can be quite broken for people having multi-boxing accounts and farming those loyalty points, and then also reducing the value of those loyalty points for those people that are doing it in those smaller numbers. One thing that I also miss from the older system is it being sort of Minmatar and Gallente against Ammar and Caldari. You had a lot more targets to come up against, and you had a lot more space that you could also roam in, because you could go over to Gallente space and fight Caldari over there as well. But I guess I understand that that might lead to larger groups and bigger blobs, and steer away from that smaller engagements and solo PvP that perhaps they're going for faction warfare. But that's the Arbitrator down, and next up against a small gang of frigates, and this just really shows when those newts start to come into their own, especially when you don't have a web fit on this particular fitting. So we have a Federation Navy Comet, a Jaguar and a Republic Fleet Firetail trying to take me out at the moment. Definitely a small gang that could take out a stabber for sure. So I'm webbed down hard and they're trying to defang me, and I don't realise this at first, but in doing that they're putting less DPS on my tank, I suppose, so that's one good thing about that. But I should be recalling my drones and then chucking them back out again to attack to try not to lose them, because they're going to be doing some of the best damage against the little frigs. But as I'm saying that, you can see that my newts must be having a big effect on this Federation Navy Comet as he starts to enter Hull, and then I start to think about what my next target is going to be. So the Jaguar is a lot closer than the Firetail, so I think I'm going to go for that one next and try the same tactic and get the neutralizers on him and start hitting his cap and hitting his tank. Also, I hope you notice that I'm staggering my newts there, so that when he does get capped out, that helps to keep him capped out as well. Something that was noted in the comments of some of my previous videos. That's the great thing about uploading my fights and waffling on about it, is you guys helping me out, and you know, if you see things that I should be doing, definitely put them in the comments, because I do pick up on that, and you know, it does help me in further engagements. You know, we can all learn from my mistakes. So I've used my last cap battery in my ancillary shield booster, and because I had auto reload turned off, I can still use it as I just did then. But man, look how much cap it used up. That was a huge amount of capacitor there for that one rep, and you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to get another one off, so I don't know sometimes whether it's worth having it reload because of the amount of cap that it needs to fire. But as that Jag goes down, the Republic Fleet Firetail warps off, and that is the end of this video. So till next time, fly safe and Merry Christmas, as this video is probably going out a couple of days before the big day. Take it easy.